So this is the M1 MacBook Air, and Apple is still selling this laptop on their website. And Apple doesn't actually sell a product even after 1 or 2 years unless they think this is a really worthy one. And I've been using this laptop for 2 years, and it's been 3 years since its launch. And I have to say, this laptop is the only laptop that I've ever used till date that has made me think I really don't need another laptop, despite a lot of new laptops releasing, be it on Windows, be it on Mac. So that's how happy and satisfied I am with this. So in this video, I'll be telling you why I love this laptop a lot, and there are 3 main reasons. And at the end, I will be telling who should get this laptop and why. So let's get started. Now there are 3 things that I love about this laptop. One is the performance, then the battery life, and the display. So let's start with the performance. Now this is one of the first laptops Apple introduced the M series chips, their own custom chips. And initially when it launched, Apple did claim a lot, and I kind of was skeptical, but once I started using this, I was like blown away. Like, the performance that you get from this machine is incredible. Now you have to keep in mind that this laptop is not a professional laptop. Now this is a laptop that is meant for the majority of people who just want to surf the web, people who just want to do tasks like Excel or Google Docs or things like that, light work, but work that will contribute to their day-to-day jobs. So this is meant for people who are going to go light on their work but still need a really efficient machine. And I have to say, for that, this is a real powerhouse. The M1 chips in this have been amazing. It's not only that, Apple controls the hardware and software, so they have really good optimization. macOS has been amazing on this. I haven't gotten even a single instance of lag on this. Now I use this for my work. Actually, YouTube is not my work, for my other stuff. So some research I do on this. I learned stuff from this for my 3D work. Of course, watching YouTube and movies, things like that. And then other than that, occasionally I do Photoshop work. So I do edit all these images on this machine, and for all that, this has been really great. Now I can open multiple tabs on Google Chrome and not be worried about why is this lagging. No, I haven't had that problem. Now even Photoshop, I apply layers, masks, things like that, and still it works. Now of course, there was one time when I actually pushed this to its limit. That is when it kind of got stuck. It was a very high resolution image. I kind of put in a lot of work into that. So yeah, don't do that. Like, if you're a really pro Photoshop expert or pro editor, don't do that on this. Please don't buy the pro models for that. But other than that, for any other type of work, now say if you're working on Excel, Google Docs, Google Sheets, PowerPoint, things like that, for all that, this is going to work really, really well. And even if you want to do Photoshop, not at the pro level, but intermediate, something like that, then this is going to help you a lot. Now, if you ask me, can you edit videos on this? Of course you can. If you're someone who takes reels or shots, of course you can edit that on these. And basic 4K videos, just talking headshots, that can also be done on this. Don't expect to put crazy amounts of effects and stuff and then it to be smooth. That's not going to happen. But this thing definitely serves its purpose as a machine for people who want to use their laptop for everyday stuff. Now with all these performance gains, people might think, okay, if the performance is this good, the battery life might not be that great. And that is what I actually thought, but I was blown away by the battery life in this machine. Now I've used laptops from Dell, Asus, HP. In fact, Asus was my primary, before that Dell, before that HP. Even though the performance was good, now Asus and all, I love the performance because it had an SSD, it had a really good display, and things were good. But the thing was, the battery life was bad, very bad. Maybe if I wanted to watch a movie, I could keep the brightness at say half or 60%, and I could watch the movie entirely and still have a little battery left. And that was not good. So that is like 3 hours, 3.5, maximum 4 hours of battery life, which is bad, especially if you want to take your laptop around. I had to carry the power brick with me. But ever since I shifted to this, the battery life has been incredible. If this laptop is on full charge, I actually don't take my power brick with me if that's the entire day work, because that's how reliable the battery life on this is. Now I actually kind of consume a lot of media on this laptop, like watch YouTube, watch movies, watch series a lot. I mean, I binge sometimes. If I'm bored, I binge watch series on this a lot, and for all that, battery life hasn't been an issue. Like if I start around 12 p.m. in the noon, I can go the entire day, say even 12 hours if I want, without any issue. I mean, 12 hours is an over exaggeration, but say around 8 to 9 hours without any issues, like continuously watching. Like not brightness reduced, so the brightness is at around 60 to 70%, which is my comfortable viewing experience. So I keep with all that settings. It definitely helps me get through the day without any issue. Now, even if you're using Chrome heavily or Photoshop, you are not going to see a very bad battery degradation, because the optimization is so good. The M series chip, so the M1 chip here is really efficient, and in fact this entire thing is only battery. So Apple has managed to cram in a huge battery inside this. To be honest, ever since using this, I've had heating issues only twice, and the reason for that is because I kind of pushed it beyond its limits in Photoshop and in the name of testing. That is the only time, and that too it was kind of in this area. So other than that, I've had no heating issues. I've used this to watch countless series and stuff in an entire stretch, and I've had no issues with this. And finally, the third big thing that I love about this laptop is the display. Now, by no means is this modern looking. It definitely doesn't look modern. The display, no thin bezels, nothing like that. In fact, I've had laptops released before this which had thinner bezels than these, but yeah, I mean, Apple, they're kind of stubborn, like we are not going to bring it first. But beside the thick bezels, this here is an amazing display, be it for content consumption, for color accurate work, be it in Photoshop, Lightroom, things like that. This is an amazing display for that. Now, of course, it is not like the Pro models which have mini LED, if I'm not wrong, but the LCD display on this is amazing. I'm really happy that Apple has given such a good display in a laptop that costs only around 80,000 or 70,000 right now. And I'm actually surprised how Apple actually gave such a good display in this price range. Of course, this is not mini LED or OLED. Now, of course, in Asus laptops, you get OLED displays at around say 45,000-50,000 rupees. Of course, it's not like that, but considering this is an LCD display, I'm really happy how fine-tuned this display is. Now, if you're watching movies or content on this, it is going to be amazing, like really amazing. Now, with that said, all these three combined are three of the main reasons why I'm still sticking with this despite many laptops launching. I find no reason to upgrade to any of those laptops. Now, of course, I do my professional work on my Windows laptop. That's an Asus Strix, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I made a video about that long back, but this is an RTX 3080 32 gigs of RAM. So I do my heavy video work, my Blender, that is the 3D work, all I do on that. But for rest of the other things, surfing, taking notes, research, writing down scripts and occasional Photoshop work, I use the M1 Mac. I mean, apart from my work, this is the laptop that I use the most. Now, it's not only these three things I like about this laptop. Of course, these are three huge factors that is stopping me from switching to another laptop. But there are other things that I really love about this. Now, build quality. I've dropped this laptop 2 or 3 times and it has survived. It is a rock solid laptop. The build quality is amazing. I really love the keyboard. My typing has improved quite a lot. I'm happy the way I type right now. Ever since starting to type on this, my skills have been transferred to any other keyboard I use except mechanical. But yeah, my typing has improved. The trackpad is one of the best. Now, I've seen videos where YouTubers say this is the best trackpad. Before owning this, I thought, okay, maybe they are exaggerating and stuff like that. But to be honest, this is one of the best trackpads I've ever used. Now, the speakers on these are good. They are not the best. they don't blast sound like 16-inch or the 14-inch, but considering the size of this, the available room inside, I'm happy with this. It's just that my fan is very loud, so some videos I can hear, for some videos I need to connect it to a speaker. Speakers are good. Now if you ask me, are there any bad things? There are things that I don't like. I wish the webcam could have been 1080p, but now you do get that with the latest models, but this doesn't have 1080p webcam, but still is a really capable one. And I really wish there was at least another USB-C ports. I mean, right now with what I do, 2 USB-C ports are fine, but I really wish there was another one. That would have been pretty good. Now I have only one gripe about this. It's actually all MacBooks in general, and that is the cost of upgrading. Now I went with the base model because I really didn't require the higher RAM or things like that, but my friend who is into UI UX design, he actually wanted to buy a Mac. I recommended the MacBook Air, and he actually went with the 8 gig version. And since just because the 16 gig version was quite expensive, and even though the laptop is amazing, he loves that, he just wishes that the 16 gig upgrade would have been lesser, because if that was the case, he would have definitely gone with the 16 gig version. And surprisingly, he's still using the MacBook Air for his everyday work, professional work. So that's how good this is. I've recommended this laptop to say 5 to 6 people, and all of them have loved it. And with that said, the big question is, in 2023, should you buy the M1 MacBook Air? And the answer to that is yes. And this applies for like 70% of the population who's planning to buy a laptop, especially a MacBook. You really don't need a Pro Series MacBook unless you are going to go into heavy work. It could be any sort of heavy work, be it heavy work in the line of programming, in the line of video, photography, in the line of 3D modeling, data science, things like that. If you're doing heavy work, then those make sense. With that said, if you are a first time Mac user, I would highly suggest you to go with this. And if you want an amazing laptop under say 70,000 with amazing battery life, great performance, great display, then again go with this. That is if you don't mind any operating system. Overall, my take on the M1 MacBook Air for 2023 and even 2024 is going to be, please buy this if this is your very first Mac, or if you don't want to spend too much money on a Mac but still want a really solid one. So thanks for watching, and this here is Suman signing off once again. Catch you later.